Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Tuesday, the 4th of November. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com, and it's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, we have seen a decent move down overnight, and one thing I'm watching is if we can retest this overnight low, we've got a possibility of setting up 60-minute buy signals. Not necessarily going to get those, don't always get those, but I have to say it's very nice when we do get those. It tends to be a pretty strong signal. If we can find some support there, that we see a nice move up, which in this case, the obvious target would be for a retest of the high. Now, I've got a whole scenario laid out there, and I'll talk about that when I get to the RTH charts, but that's looking pretty good. So ES, retest that low, we can set up a nice 60-minute buy signal testing the monthly pivot. In Q, close to a test of the monthly pivot, not quite there yet, kind of looks like a bull flag forming. And again, retest the overnight low, and we can set up a very nice looking 60-minute buy signal. RTY, this is actually testing the double top support here, so I'm watching this area with interest, but of course, breaking down doesn't necessarily mean we make target. We could just reject back up to the high. Again, retest the overnight low, break it slightly, maybe get down below the double top support, and we can set up a very nice hourly buy signal, which could set up a run back potentially into the high. And YM, testing the monthly pivot there, we're well below the monthly pivot on RTY, of course. So testing the monthly pivot there too, and again, retest the overnight low, and we can set up a nice 60-minute buy signal. I think that might be the way it plays out today, and that would look pretty good to me on the daily chart. Closing down here, probably less so, but I'll talk about that on the RTH charts. DAX, again, we can set up a buy signal here. We've actually made a lower low under this mid-October low here. Could this be a double bottom? Yes, a bit oversized, but nonetheless. ESTX, of course, we've got a nested double top there already, and the first double top has broken down. I've got a target for that in the 54.77, 55.05 range, unless this, of course, breaks up and fails and reach into a retest of the prior high. All right, let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts. Okay. On the daily charts, we've got a very nice looking setup here, where we are, if we see a retest of the high, we can set up some nice daily RSI 5 sell signals. Now, we're probably going to be going below the 50 level on the RSI 5 at the open, but it doesn't really matter. Unless we actually see a close down at this level, a reversal back up here, and the RSI will never go below the 50. And actually, if we see just a partial rally today, and it probably won't go below the 50, as long as it stays above the 50, if we see retest of the high, we can set up some really nice daily RSI 5 sell signals, which I'm thinking might then play out. Same on SPX. I am wondering about a possible test of the daily middle band. We're getting pretty close to that. Where's the daily middle band on ES? We've got that at 6778. Let's have a quick look. Where was the overnight low? Pretty much there. So this would be a test of the daily middle band on the ES chart, and might well be a test of that in RTH if we go back and test this in RTH. I'm thinking we may well do that. This is a big test. If we can get 60-minute buy signals and a bounce at the daily middle band, that's pretty nice looking buy setup. Obviously, it could fall through the daily middle band, in which case that's a different story. The other thing is that when we get to the daily middle band, of course, we will also be getting to rising support. Now, at the moment, the read here is that we've got a nice looking trend line here, and this would be an overthrow. See it break down from that, and that is a significant sign of weakness. Now, we can still see the retest of the high there to set up a little double top, but it would increase the chances that we then see a further breakdown. Obvious target for that being this bigger support level down here in the 65.50 area. We will see. All right, looking at Qs, again, we could set up a very nice looking daily RSI 5 sell signal. We could set up a very nice sequence for that here. So on the Qs, probably not going to reach the rising support. I've got that down here in the 610 area. Looking at Dire, again, we can set up a very nice, retest the high, set up a very nice looking double top. Again, we're probably going to be testing the daily middle band at the open today, unless we have a big rally in the meantime. Again, we may be testing the rising support here. This looks like a rising wedge with an overthrow. This isn't necessarily the best trend line. I think I'm leaning towards this one, but nonetheless, this is the one we've got here. If we see a breakdown from here, then again, we could be in a topping process for that. All right, let's have a look at IWM. I'm going to try and get a post out this afternoon. I'll certainly get one of, well, I think I'll probably get that out. I'm going to try and get both an equities and a crypto one out today. All right, IWM, looking at the daily chart, we have no prospect of getting an RSI 5 sell signal, but at the moment we've been holding the daily middle band as resistance. This could be going significantly lower. We will see, but at the moment, the Bollinger Bands are pretty narrow. I've got the main support here at 3SD, lower band at 235.50. We might possibly reach that today. Looking at the hourly chart, we've got, it kind of looks like, because the second high is lower, this kind of looks like a bullish consolidation. This could be a bull flag, in which case we could see a move down into the 2375 area, and this would look a lot like either at that stage a bull flag or a part formed head and shoulders, because of course we've got a possible head and shoulder neckline in the 237.5 area. Watching that with great interest. We will see. Not close to any kind of a buy signal here on the hourly chart. Looking at DAX, tested the daily middle band as resistance yesterday. Obviously, if that holds, then that opens up a potential breakdown here towards the main double top support in the 23.3 area. Nikkei, just still at the highs. We're beyond possible trend lines here. I am watching with interest this possible daily RSI 14 sell signal brewing. Get a bit of a decline in the retest, and we could see an RSI 5-1 brewing as well. We shall see. All right, looking at DX. DX, we're continuing higher at the moment. We've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed, and I've got a 60-minute buy signal fixed on the euro. Watching those with great interest. Doesn't look like a double bottom here on euro, and actually doesn't really look that much like a double top anymore on DX, but that's fine, because I'm expecting to see, if we see a pullback, I'm expecting to see a pullback and then continuation higher into double bottom resistance in the 100.4 area. Looking at ZB, we've got a 60-minute buy signal fixed almost at the possible near miss target. Bigger picture, of course, we've got a couple of patterns that have broken down. We've now made the target area on the double top that's broken down, but I've got a further target down here in the 116 area for the head and shoulders that's broken down, and we'll see whether that can make target. ZN hasn't quite made the target on this head and shoulders, which I've got in the 112.14 area. I'm leaning towards the lower on both. We've been seeing a little bit of a rally. This looks like a bear flag consolidation on ZN. Okay, looking at CL. CL, we had a little double bottom break up here, and I liked it, but we had a little weak 60-minute sell signal fix, and that's made target. And we've almost failed the double bottom. If we retest this low, that won't be a large double bottom. It will then be too large. So watching this with interest, wondering if this is some kind of bull flag consolidation, not seeing an obvious topping pattern. HO, still leaning towards seeing a retest of this high here. Not quite made it so far. RBOB, no current divergence, and this doesn't look like a double top anymore. Could be a topping pattern, maybe a head and shoulders forming. Watching that with interest, no current signals. NG, we got a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed, and that's actually turned into a full 60-minute sell signal fixed, because we saw another high here, and then we've gone down from that, and that is fixed as well. Leaning towards seeing some sort of move. So far, this is looking like a bullish consolidation or flag forming. GC, we're still in the we're still waiting to see if this is going to break down. This looks an awful lot like a bear flag, and I'm leaning towards it being a bear flag until we demonstrate otherwise. Bear flag's got a minimum target at 3,900 and could of course continue down to the head and shoulder target in the 3650 area. Looking at SI, this head and shoulders is broken down and could be failing. This could be an alternate. Hang on. Inverted head and shoulders forming here. So I'm watching that with great interest, because of course when you get a head and shoulders fail, a lot of the time you will get an alternate head and shoulders form in the other direction, and this could be that pattern. So watching that, and it would be a very nice IHS at the moment. So we've still got a decision to make here, same as we've got with gold. Do we continue down to the lower targets? Palladium, possible IHS forming here too, not as nice as the SI one, and actually this buy signal did not fix. I'm going to wait to see if it does fix, but we were up intra-hour and I marked it in, but of course the hour is closed and since then, and we didn't actually make it, so it's now actually brewing. Platinum, this looks very much like a bear flag. HG has broken down with a target in the 4.88 to 4.92 area and has reached the top of that target area, or got very, very close. Probably close enough to call. No current positive divergence, leaning towards seeing at least some more downside. Not a lot to see on the other currencies here. GBP continuing down. Buy signal has failed. USD JPY maybe heading back into this megaphone support. A little level top has broken down with a target in the 152.70 area. USD CAD is retesting this high. We've got a possible double top set up, although I'm not really expecting it to be one. Australian dollar looks like it's failing back down into a retest of these lows. NZUSD. We've retested the lows already. Possible double bottom set up here, but leading towards continuation down. KC, we've got. This looked like a bear flag forming, but has since broken up. I'm leaning towards this seeing a retest of this high here in the 437.50 area. Looking at SB, and watching this declining resistance trend line here, we've got. It looks like. I don't know, if you squint, you can kind of see bottoming patterns there, but we never really resolved into a particular one. 6-minute buy signal has reached the possible near-miss target. This could be a bear flag forming. Looking at CC, CC has broken up from obviously this big falling megaphone, and I'm leaning towards at least somewhat higher. Do we have a pattern to get us there? No, and this could be a bear flag forming. So we could retest the low, set up a double bottom, come back up. I'm wondering if we might see that, and we could see a 60-minute sell signal form today. On CT, we've got a IHS which is broken up, and we've got a possible bear flag which would be pointing down, waiting for the decision there. This looks like a triangle forming, setting up a retest this high. That could then be a small small second high on a double top. Lumber, we're seeing a bit of a rally here on the 60-minute buy signal. Not really looking for anything major. This could technically be a big double bottom here, but I'm not expecting it to be. I think we'll see a rally here and then likely continue down to targets far below. ZW, we've got a nice uptrend going here. No current negative divergence. Not really seeing any particular reason to think this is going to turn. Corn is stalling a bit here. Possible topping action. Soy is stalling a bit too. Well, we've got a 60-minute sell signal that's reached the possible near miss target. No, actually, I'm sorry, I'd called that already. This is a no current divergence. So, but we do have potential topping action here. The question is, well, we've had, this is all on the basis of the China deal, and that's not likely to change, I don't think. So that's probably, we're probably going to be able to hold higher levels. On the bigger picture, this looks like a bear flag which has been forming all year, which is actually breaking up. ZL, we retested the low. We got a possible double bottom set up here, waiting to see. We had a buy signal and that's reached target. Live cattle, this a lot depends on whether US imports Argentine beef. My feeling is the resistance is so strong they probably won't, but they might. If that deal fails, then we may well see this go back and retest the highs. HE, I've got a really nice support trend line here. It's a peach. It's nice, and I am looking for the trend line that would match it on the upside. So watching that with interest. At the moment, that trend line would be. Wait a second. That trend line would be here. This could, obviously, if we're seeing this form, this is a potential fairly bullish pattern. And we got a weak 60-minute buy signal fixed, though that hasn't delivered anything so far. We got a potential little level bottom here. I'm thinking we might well see a breakup here. All right, great. Let's have a look at questions. Would the rise be starting a right shoulder reforming head and shoulders? Yes, it could. But equally, they could be double tops. I think they are ripe for it. This is day 35 of the day 35 of the shutdown. This is now going to be the longest one ever, although in their current form they've only actually existed since 1981. This is gonna have an impact. At the moment, the if you have a look at the betting markets on this, because actually they're a pretty good guide of where sentiment is. This actually was 48.2 this morning. It's down to 45.5. Obviously, it moves all the time, but this is assuming it's going to last another 10 days minimum. So I think that may well be right. But we're now, I think, certainly after today, we're now in the longest shutdown in history. We'll see how it goes. All right, great. In that case, that's a wrap. Watch out for a post, ideally 2, that I'll get out today. I'm going to try and get out 2. Everyone take care, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning.